to order. Assistant City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioners Carter,
Here.
Cullen, Deloche,
Here.
Hone, Joseph, Vice Chair Christian Pope,
Here.
Chairman Cannon.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I will say the invocation. Let us pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we ask that you guide us right now as we do the work for our people and for our city, Lord. We want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve in your image. We want to thank you so much for all of the members of our community that have been participating with us and the things that we have planned. We want to thank you for members of the community that are here with us today, and continue to bless us as we move forward. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. And if you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
We actually have a flag.
Yes. Please face the flag. Right hand over your heart. Ready and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay, first order of business, we have our recap and updates from Mr. Chatters, Mr. Hawley. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just to give a recap, in the month of April, we've had a series of special meetings in which the Social Equity Commission met to go over their equity report. The Social Equity Commission decided to then move forward and your subcommittees to work on that report over the next month. We've also had a series of special meetings where the Social Equity Commission is partnering or working with community partners to put on a Juneteenth celebration, which will occur on Sunday, June 19th. Of next month. Other than that, the next general body partnership meeting for the Juneteenth celebration is tomorrow, beginning at 5 p.m. at the Stanley Kleiner Activity Room. The meeting will probably go longer than the usual meetings just because we have a lot more to talk about. And then otherwise, in terms of activities in the community, I did receive notice of a Pride event next month called Pride Mixer, located at the Outreach Center. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's on Cedar Avenue, according to the information I received. I will forward that out to you guys so that you can put it on your calendars if you so choose to attend. And I believe that is all from the staff. Is there anything else we need to add? No. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe we have a public comments on this agenda item. Ms. Nita Watson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Chairman Cannon, for allowing me this opportunity. I'm Nita Watson again, and I'm the president of Free Indeed Reentry Project. I am also the founder of Black Gold Urban Grow Consulting and Expo. I was born here in Lancaster at Antelope Valley Hospital a very, very long time ago and was raised in South Central, but I am back here after I purchased a home in 2017, so we've kind of come full circle. I'm here today representing the National Assembly of American Slavery Descendants and the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California to share with the Commission the upcoming AB 3121 listening session. Are all of you familiar with that bill that was recently passed?
That's the reparations bill, correct?
Yeah, the reparations bill.
Awesome.
So we are, I just finalized actually the messaging correspondence yesterday, so I don't have any flyers or anything for this particular event. But I will make sure that the chairperson has information that he can share with you all via email. And I'll make this brief. CA AB 3121 is the first piece of legislation of its kind in any state. And as we know, it was authored by our Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, and was signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom on September 30th, 2020. This bill created a 9-member task force that will inform Californians about the harms of slavery and explore ways in which the state might provide reparations to the California descendants of chattel slaves. The bill requires the task force to recommend, in addition to policy prescriptions, the form of compensation that should be awarded, the instrumentalities through which it should be awarded, and who should be eligible for this compensation. That task force includes familiar names: Senator Stephen Bradford, and Assemblyman Reggie Jones Sawyer. My time is up.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay, and then we also have an amazing chairperson, Ms. Camila Moore, outstanding, dynamic chairperson. And so we are gathering as well on Juneteenth weekend for an historic 2-day event that will begin on Saturday, June 18th, from 12 to 6. And it'll be a mixer the first day that weekend, and it'll be at Hot and Cool Cafe in Leimert Park. The session is for the public to learn about the task force, hear stories. We're going to hear some music and some spoken word, some African American history, and you guys know how we do when we get together. We just celebrate. And so this is an historic piece of legislation. These are historic times. The reparations movement is really taking a life of its own all across the country. There's no more denying it. The country must pay the debt that it owes. And so we just want to invite you all, if you are available, to come out that weekend. The following day, which will be Sunday the 19th, we'll have a listening session. The first day is kind of like just celebratory, but the next day is the listening session where the task force will be available, some members of it, and we'll be able to ask questions and just get some more information and just hopefully, get other people to get involved and be a part of this very historic movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Watson. There are no more speakers, so we're going to move on to continued business, or no, the consent calendar. Are there any speakers for the consent calendar? Okay. Is there a motion and a second for the approval of the consent calendar?
I make a motion for the approval of the consent calendar for March 16th.
It is moved by Commissioner Pope. Is there a second?
I second it.
It is seconded by Commissioner Deloche. It is moved and seconded. May the city clerk please call the roll.
Commissioners Carter,
Yes.
Deloche,
Yes.
Vice Chair Christian Pope,
Yes.
Chairman Cannon.
Yes.
It passes unanimously.
Thank you. Continued business. Continued discussion and possible action regarding the draft equity report containing recommendations for the city council. The social equity subcommittee for the equity report we're going to table that presentation for now. We're going to move on. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Okay. We don't need to vote on tabling that, do we? Okay. So we're going to move on from that. Are there any speakers? Do we have to ask for speakers now that it's tabled?
There are no speakers at this time.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll do NB1.
Go ahead.
So with NB1 new business, basically we just want to make sure that our commissioners and everyone just has like a really comprehensive understanding of parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rules of Order, X, Y, and Z. It's always good to like brush up on that stuff. So I had wanted to submit like a request to city staff to possibly work on either a presentation or B, just like a few blurbs that could be given to our commissioners in regards to parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rules of Order at our next meeting as per previous discussion.
Yes, so based on your previous request, Commissioner Pope, we will begin to sort of formulate the best ways in which we can get you that information. You did provide me a sample. We will lead with that sample that you provided, but just to let you know that we most likely won't be able to address this particular request until after June, considering that you guys are very busy for the next month and a half.
No worries, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And then in regards to NB2 very briefly. So the job fair that is going to be held in coordination with the American Job Center of Los Angeles County is going to be held on May 26th from 1:30 until 4:30 p.m. over at the Kleiner Building, over at the YMCA, over at Sergeant Steve Owens Memorial Park. So we hope to see people in attendance for that.
Okay. Are there any speakers for NB1 or NB2?
There are no speaker cards for NB1 or NB2.
Go ahead.
At your previous meetings, you, I believe, agreed to create a subcommittee for this particular NB2. So I would suggest that you, if possible, have a discussion and decide which three of you will possibly attend the Youth Job Fair.
Okay.
We will table that for now until we just, and if any commissioner here would like to participate, you please reach out and make that known. And
I was planning on attending.
Okay. Do we need to make a subcommittee if
I believe it. You can just let us know which three of you will be participating, but I believe at one of your previous special meetings, you agreed to have a subcommittee for this particular agenda item.
Yes, we have not formed that yet, but we do know that Commissioner Pope will be on that.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be today, but I
As did I. Based on the email.
but I realized I couldn't do it today, so I haven't checked if I'm going to be available or not. So
Okay.
we'll get back to you.
Okay, so just let us know if there are two more, but again, remember, no more than four. No more than three, sorry.
You got it.
Gotcha. Also for NB1, I appreciate you bringing that up. It's very helpful. We can
Yeah.
always use a little bit more polishing and training everybody.
It's always good to just like make sure that like when we're having like conversations with folks and whatnot, that we're doing it in the way that gets like everyone's voice heard. That's really important. And then making sure that we are engaging in like some of these lofty challenges like as respectfully with one another as possible. And so I always think that some more training is good. I did it when I was in high school, and I think that when everybody has opportunity to access those resources, we all benefit.
Absolutely. NB3, Pride Month, possible Pride Month actions and activities. Would you like to?
Yeah, I'll carry this discussion. Okay, so for the past few years, we have been discussing how to make sure that all of our communities here in Lancaster and the Antelope Valley feel as though they're accepted. And both of our communities in Lancaster and Palmdale have taken a lot of positive steps in terms of making sure that representatives in government are more reflective of the population of folks that we see here, especially in terms of gender identity and romantic identity, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, Pride Month will be coming up in the month of June. And so I am not sure possibly what initiatives we could do to recognize Pride Month. I just want to say, like, very briefly, as an acknowledgement of where we are and how far we've come. I understand that there are some people that in the community might be a little bit opposed to having us recognize this in any sort of official manner. I understand that, and that's the territory that we're in. But I also know that we have an incredible opportunity here to make sure that we can educate folks on why this month is so important. So we have a few different ways to accomplish that. We are going to be personally, I know that some of the commissioners will personally, myself included, be attending the Palmdale Pride Walk. And we are working with the Human Rights Committee chairperson for the city of Palmdale to orchestrate that effort. But I was wondering if there was anything else that anybody would want to do in regards to Pride. I know that this would be like up Teresina's alley, but unfortunately she's not here, so.
I want to add something. I would really like to see perhaps some type of film festival. When I was living in the Bay Area for Pride Month, there was this really great documentary on the history of the population and just the different inequities that were faced. And it to me, each year when I would see this film this documentary, it was such a learning opportunity and eye-opening opportunity for, a population that has been marginalized and excluded. And I would love to just somehow see us roll out. I don't know if we could do some sort of event where we showed the documentaries or some films, but yeah, some type of film festival to celebrate.
Before I get to Ronald, I just wanted to say that something like that might be feasible if we held it over maybe at the MOA or MOA Cedar or whatever, and just showed a film. I think that could be possible. Ronald.
1 second, hold on. I think that we should reach out to any advocates or allies or activists and the LGBTQ centers in the Antelope Valley. I think that's important too when thinking about
Partnerships.
When we think about partnerships and what could be done, and to see if they are doing something that we could, like you said, partner with. So
Yeah, I think that's great.
Ronald?
Just as another reminder, the Outreach Center's event on June the 4th, which is a Pride mixer, and I believe that Cedar Avenue is a block away. Speaking of the film event that Commissioner Carter mentioned, I think that might be something very feasible. So you could have, say, Paris is Burning and a few other films that could be shown to the community. That could be at the MOA. It could possibly be something that's shown in a park. I just have to forewarn you that your staff that help this particular commission will be stretched during the month of June. So I would encourage you guys that you will basically have to take the reins in organizing whatever activity you decide that the commission will partner or spearhead during the month of June if it occurs before June 18th.
Yes, the last time we spoke, the Pride Walk was in limbo. Do you have any information on the solid details?
I do not presently at the moment. I know that the Pride Walk, I believe, will be held the weekend of either the 26th or something of that nature. So it'll be after Juneteenth, and it'll also be after we reconvene over with this commission. So I will be able to give more official updates for that in June. Additionally, the planning for that, a meeting for the planning of that will be taking place next week, so I will be able to provide you further details after that meeting, and then I can obviously do so in an official setting once we hit our commission meeting in June.
for that Outreach Center's Pride event, what was the date for that again?
June 4th.
June the 4th from 5 to 7.
And what was the name of that event again?
It's called Pride Mixer. I'll read it exactly to you, what was texted to me. Join us for the Outreach Center's annual Pride Mixer. Food, drinks, fun, June 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. We encourage everyone to also join us at the Queer Concert and Drag Show after the Mixer at Transplant Venue.
Yes.
I don't know where that is.
Transplant Brewing Company, yeah.
Okay. And then,
It's over in Putnam.
yep, that's pretty much what it says, Transplant Brewing for Queer Concert and Drag Show at 44845 Cedar Avenue, Lancaster, California.
And is this a Antelope Valley Center or a Palmdale Center? Or
I
Lancaster?
believe the Outreach Center is literally right down the street. Is that the?
Yes, so it's right next to the MOA Cedar where we've had like previous events.
Could we reach out to them and ask them if there's anything that how we can help, or besides just showing up, or they just want us to show up? Or?
I didn't receive this directly from them. I received this from a person in the community,
Okay.
Just letting me know and inviting me to it. So I wouldn't necessarily know who to reach out to. I would maybe ask one of you guys to do that. Again, just because we're stretched
Yes.
on some other activities for the
Okay.
commission.
Okay, I will. Okay, let's see. How about this? In terms of like possible like activities like being done for Pride, I know that like this is obviously something that I know like Teresina would want to also focus on as well. So I guess I hate to say the answer to this is like another subcommittee, but I can just offline with Teresina about like any other possible initiatives, X, Y, and Z, I can send an email over to some of the partners at the Outreach Center and some of the Northern LA County queer nonprofits to see like if there is anything that they would like to do. And then as soon as we can, I guess, like nail down a date to do like a film screening over at the MOA or any other city venue, I will coordinate with you on that so we can get that officially set up. And then I guess last thing would be, would it be possible to do something on social media? I know that that's dicey, but I did just want to ask, is that something that would be able to, like, would we be able to, like, recognize that in any way on social media?
Excuse me. So if you guys are participating as an official sponsor or partner in an event, or you're putting on a particular event like the film screening, I would just need to have the information so I can share it with the communications department so that they can then post it on Instagram, Facebook, or the city's calendar.
Okay.
Also, I'll follow up with the Performing Arts Center. They do have a screen there, and we'll find out if they have any openings for the film festival.
I have a suggestion for the commission about something that I think is we could do. And some people may see this as trivial, but I see it as something that's a good step and a show of solidarity with the community that we're celebrating in the month of June as a country or as a nation. We could recommend, or if the commission is inclined to this, recommend that for the month of June we fly the pride flag at city places. Commissioner DeLoche?
I was thinking about that because I know that there have been other cities in LA County that have done like proclamations of pride. I just am also keenly aware, and forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, but I am also keenly aware of the fact that with much of the stuff that is occurring across the country, sentiments towards certain communities have not always been the most positive and well received, and I am very concerned that if that's something that we were to do, it wouldn't necessarily be seen in the right way. And I know that it might not necessarily be well received. That's why I was trying to have us push for doing, like, I guess, like, offline events that are, like, inching us towards progress rather than just, like, going, like, straight out there. Because I know that if we don't change mindsets first, it is very difficult for things to be well received. That being said, I would love to see that happen one day. I'm just not sure if we are necessarily in the right placing for that. But I do hope that I did not speak out of turn.
Commissioner Carter, did you have a comment?
I really think that, again, I'll mention documentaries, not just films, but we do know that one of the best ways to change minds is through education. Mm-hmm. So we can continue, I guess we do have to move at a more thoughtful
That was a good word choice, yeah.
pace, but I think that education, whatever we can think of as far as education, I don't think you need to move too slow on education, So any venues, any ideas around educating, maybe that's what we can really focus on.
Absolutely.
For this 2022 Pride is educational practices, initiatives, or something.
Would any commissioner we can entertain a motion for an action? We've heard from Commissioner Pope about some things that he will go ahead and do, and some people he would reach out to. We could table the action until we hear back from Commissioner Pope. If he reports back from the commission, or
I'm interested in hearing City Staff's perspective before we take any further action.
go ahead.
So speaking of education, I have a suggestion. I believe it's something you guys have done before. under sort of, I believe Nigel helped out with this. During Black History Month, you had the communications department post a series
Yes.
of Black History fact posts on Instagram. You can suggest that they do something similar for Pride Month, and that could recognize leaders within the Pride community that have been active, but that most people might not have known that they were gay or identified as within the LGBTQ community. And those posts can also educate the community about various issues that people that fall within that sort of realm experience, to bring those to light. And then also, before I forget, I did want to mention that Sky Jung from Palmdale did apply for a permit to have a Pride Walk somewhere in Lancaster. I don't know if it's the same Pride Walk and it will cross over into Lancaster, but I did want to bring that to your attention so that when you do have those conversations with Sky, that I am aware that the application was submitted.
Yeah, when we had all spoken with the chairwoman of the Human Rights Committee, Sky, I think she had talked about doing something off of Avenue M, I think,
Okay.
in terms of like the Palmdale Pride Walk, like leading into Lancaster. I don't know if there was any further action on that, but I can definitely check back with her.
Okay, and then last but not least, regarding the flag, we would suggest that maybe do something sort of a smaller scale, not to say that the flag needs to be flown all month, but it can maybe be flown for a week or over a weekend to sort of illustrate sort of solidarity with the LGBT community. And so I think that is probably more of an easier ask, and that ask you guys would most likely have to give to the city manager.
That would be lovely. Like, that would be extraordinary. So, yes. Did you have something to say, Nigel?
No. I would just say, if you're going to do a motion, be clear on what the ask is.
So, continued action, or like more specific, such as the June 4th.
That's 2 weeks. Oh, sorry.
So if you're going to ask for the weekend, I would say that you guys would probably need to entertain a motion for the weekend, because you guys are going to not meet again in this official capacity for a month.
So it would be the weekend, and then the possible film screening, and then communications, social media. Those would be the three asks. Okay. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Weekend, flag, social media, and film screening.
Question, but should all those be in the same motion?
No, that's what we're discussing now.
Okay. Commissioner, so it would be our recommendation that you guys vote to create a subcommittee, and that subcommittee would focus on those three issues, and that in creating that subcommittee, that the larger commission gives them the latitude or power to do whatever needs to be done as it relates to those three issues. Because it's my understanding that at the last special meeting, you guys voted to participate in the walk and not to create a subcommittee.
Yes. One moment. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I'll wait until they're finished. Okay. I will go ahead and make a motion to create a subcommittee for action on Pride Month activities as per NB1. Do I have a second for said motion?
You have a second.
Yay.
It's been moved and seconded. Can the clerk please call the roll?
Sorry, it was MB3.
NB3.
Oh.
So sorry. So do I have to restate
I
that?
might want to amend it.
Okay. Okay. So I make a motion for action on I make a motion for a possible creation of a subcommittee for action on Pride Month activities as per NB 3. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much.
moved and seconded. Can we talk about that just for a minute? That is good enough to give the latitude to the subcommittee to go ahead and do the activities.
Great.
Got it.
And again, I understand we're stretched. I will try my best to help whomever reaches out to me with whatever requests you may have.
Okay.
But just bear with me that I'm also trying to move a lot of other things that you're doing forward. And there are only a few of us.
This is true. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the motion? Please call the roll.
And there are no speaker cards at this time for NB3. The roll call, Commissioners Carter,
Yes.
Deloche,
Yes.
Vice Chair Christian Pope,
Yes.
Chairman Cannon.
Aye.
It passes unanimously.
Awesome. And we're going to move on to NB4, discussion and possible action on community engagement and the Poppy Festival survey. Well, first and foremost, we did talk about this a little bit in our study sessions. When it comes to the Poppy Festival survey, I think that we should be posting it more places, like the flyers at parks, put a flyer or even a poster in front of City Hall to reach more people, to reach more folks. And also for commissioners, if you're interested, I have flyers with me here today that I can disseminate amongst you all. But as I will defer to the rest of those are my recommendations for how we can get more involvement in that survey. But if there are any other suggestions from commissioners about the makeup of the survey or anything else, I will yield. Does anybody want to?
Not at this time.
Are we still disseminating that GR code for people to take that survey?
Yes, so the flyers that we have, and also anybody that has already had the QR code can use it. However, what we have not done is pretty much we haven't done a lot of outreach with the flyer that we have outside of the Poppy Festival. So what I'm suggesting is that we post them in those public places or in those city spaces as well.
Have we put a cap on a buy date by which we'll just stop doing this survey? Or are we
Or
gonna?
do we want to do it on a rolling basis?
We can do that if that is something that the commission wants to do. We could do that. What I would suggest is that we don't put a cap date, but we set a number of responses that we want to get, a sample size that we want to get of folks, and so yeah.
So I would recommend that we take every opportunity for every social event that we're having to ensure that we really have that QR code, right? It's not GR code.
It's QR.
QR. Well, that we have that survey available. The Pride event, the Juneteenth, every social event that we're sponsoring or initiating.
I have a question for staff. Is there a way, and I know with all the renovation and stuff like that, probably is not possible. Is there a way that we could use that poster that we had at the Poppy Festival, or even if we could just put one of our flyers at the information desk in City Hall, so at least folks who are coming in City Hall just for wherever business, they know that we're looking for their input as well?
I will have to see if it's still in my old office.
Okay.
But if it's not, it wasn't that expensive to create. So we could possibly recreate one, or like you said, put a smaller flyer at the entrance of City Hall for people to scan and complete.
Absolutely. Is there any objection, or do you think there will be any issue with me or any one of us taking flyers and posting them in public spaces like parks or anything like that? Can we do that? Do we need permission to do that?
I think you should be fine as long as where you're posting them is an acceptable posting place. So oftentimes, some communities will have like posting boards. So if you're putting them on posting boards and places that are sort of open to the public, you should be fine. But we can check on it just to make sure. Or I would say before you post them somewhere, give us an idea of where you plan to post them.
Yes.
And then that will kind of give us a better gauge of to find out if it's an acceptable place for you to put up the flyer.
I'm thinking usually where folks will like post something, one of those poles, like to one of those telephone pole line thingies, or if at the park, whether it's posted on one of some parks do have those boards, but sometimes it could be posted on a fence, or it could be posted on a door, or it could be posted on the bathroom door, or posted on the basketball court, the tennis court, somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, let us look into that a little more, and then I'm going to encourage you guys to follow up with us if we don't get back to you.
Okay.
And so specifically with regards to like just random polls in the city, I mean, oftentimes, me personally, I see that people post things on mailboxes. So like most communities here have community mailboxes, and they'll post whether it's something about a dog missing or a yard sale. That might be an opportunity. I believe some parks have posting boards, so we can figure that out. The public transportation, ABTA, might have a posting board that we can ask if you guys can put sort of something there at the hub. So yeah, let us look into that a little bit more. And again, if we don't get back to you in time, please reach out to us again for the information.
Okay, so just actually quick question. I remember when we were talking about like the Poppy Festival, we had asked if it would be possible for us to make a permanent home for that survey on like our commission webpage. Is that something that's still possible?
Anything is possible. All you have to do is ask. I think that would be an easy ask.
Okay.
I do also encourage you, one of the previous conversations you had at the last special meeting was refining that survey.
Yes.
So I would say before it's posted online on the city's webpage under the Social Equity Commission's link, that you guys spend a little bit more time refining it. And I believe there were a few questions that you guys decided that you wanted to break out so they weren't compounded, and then add some additional questions to possibly get the information that you were trying to receive from the community. So without creating a new subcommittee to address that, I know three of you, one of you who has sort of a background in asking survey questions is my understanding. Maybe you guys can address that in your social equity report subcommittee.
Absolutely. Let's see, permanent home in the City of Lancaster website. This next thing was kind of like in relation to that, and this is just kind of like an idea to be floated, not like anything official that we should be taking action on right now necessarily. But if like members of the community have problems, like is there a way, like I guess like an anonymous way for like people to say something? I guess what I'm trying to say is like if like there is somebody in the community that has a problem relating to like social equity, is there like possibly like a place where they could leave that comment for us on our like commission webpage? Again, that's not something that like we need to take action on right now, but just a general thought for the future, because I know that there are a lot of people that tend to have those issues, but they don't know where to go. So.
So it's my understanding that the city may have something already online in place for residents to complain about a number of things. We will have to look into that, and I can forward that to you guys, what's available. With regard to creating something in which residents will be able to correspond directly to the commission, that leans more to a Brown Act violation, because then we would have to decide which of you would be able to access that information. So all of you wouldn't be able to access it. So the best course of action with regards to residents communicating with you is encouraging them to
use our emails.
Your emails, yeah, your individual emails, if in fact they do have complaints.
Okay.
So it could be something as simple to say, if you have complaints with regards to issues of equity, here are a list of email addresses. Email one of these email addresses.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, as Nigel was saying, within that, whatever is dispersed or disseminated, to say reply to one email address and not all, or send an email to one email address and not all, because again, that's a potential Brown Act violation. But you guys are all very aware, if you receive an email and all of you guys are copied to it, that you are not to respond to the collective group.
Yes. So do we need to make a motion to take any sort of action on Poppy Festival survey? Or
I think until we refine it,
okay.
there's nothing we can do.
Okay.
But what we can, I think that we don't need to vote on giving the subcommittee direction on helping us refine it. So I think we're fine.
Okay, awesome. So we can move on to NB5.
Okay. You do it.
And before you guys move on to another agenda item, since we're talking about community things, I know at one of the previous meetings you did request a banner. I am in the process of getting you a Social Equity Commission banner that you can use throughout at various community events, whether you're carrying it during a Pride Walk or it's at a table. Hopefully we will have that for you at least by the Juneteenth celebration.
And will we be able to look at the design beforehand?
Yes, you can individually send me suggestions on how you would like that to look, other than it saying Lancaster, City of Lancaster Social Equity Commission, and maybe having the Lancaster logo on one side of it. If you want something else other than that, let me know. Otherwise, I was just going to give the full reins to the communications department to create it.
Okay, absolutely. It was just going to be in regards to like color choice and font size. That's it. Okay, awesome. So we can move on to NB5.
Thank you. NB5, the Antelope Valley Edge Spring Business Summit.
There
Do
was
we have anything from staff explaining what the Antelope Valley Edge Spring Business Summit is?
That is a good question. I am looking it up in my email. I did let everyone know that this particular commission, as well as, which you didn't know, the Human Rights Commission, I believe that's what they're called in Palmdale, were also invited to participate in this particular event. They offered 4 tickets. 2 of you have said that you were interested in attending, so those 2 tickets will be reserved for the 2 of you. The other 2, if there are any other commissioners that want to participate and you did not let me know, I will include you on that list of commissioners that will attend. Otherwise, I don't have detailed information on this particular event. I did send a link, and I believe the link takes you to the web page. Yeah, so the date is May 25th. Is that correct? Go back. Sorry. So it is May 25th, and I believe it's pretty much an all-day event at the fairgrounds.
So is this for us to attend the summit, to participate in the summit?
Again, I'm looking now. I don't know what the activities are. I know the tickets run about $100 each, so you guys are giving those tickets for free. And it looks like they're going to talk about like the region's economic climate. There's going to be some updates from the county. A keynote speaker is Damon John, who was on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
So he's the keynote speaker, and then it looks like the focus of this particular summit is bridging the gaps. I don't know what gaps they are referring to. I don't see a specific detailed agenda. Do you see a detailed agenda on here? What's that?
So I guess my question is, in what capacity would commissioners be in? We see that the city is a sponsor. So are we asked to participate, or are we contributing? Anything?
My understanding, you're just asked to come participate.
Okay.
So,
do we have to vote on whether or not we want to participate as a commission, or?
I would say no. You wouldn't need to vote.
Got the tickets. Keep going.
I mean, if there are more than 4 of you, I would say that want to attend, then maybe vote on it. But otherwise, if there are only a few of you that want to attend, there's 2 tickets left.
Could we vote on it to participate as a commission, just in case there are more than 4 commissioners that want to go, or that if 4 of us go, and then if not, then the less than 4 that do end up going will be there representing the commission, or because I just want to make sure that door is open for any commissioners. Yeah.
So more importantly, this wouldn't be an official commission business. This would just be you going, the commissioners, whomever's deciding to participate in a community event as a participant. Because otherwise, just like the other meetings we have, it would have to be like a special meeting and so forth, all of those formalities. So you wouldn't necessarily need to vote to make this an official commission activity because you're being invited as just mere participants in the community. So they've offered to give 4 free tickets for those of you that are interested in attending to attend.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, AV Edge Business Summit.
Again, 2 of you have said that you're interested. If there are any other people that are interested, whether you want to go for an hour or 2, just let me know. There are 2 tickets left. I just need to add your names to the list when I send it out.
Are there any speakers for NB5?
There are no speaker cards for NB5, nor are there any speaker cards for NB4.
Thank you. We're moving on to NB6, discussion and possible action on July activities. All right, go ahead.
I was just going to be like, I hate to ask, but like, what month is July? Like, we know that like July is like the 4th and all that other good stuff, but like in terms of like a month geared towards like toward a specific social initiative, like is there anything currently for the month of July? Like, is there anything that we would want to be our focus for the month of July? Because we know August is like back to school, so like we can obviously schedule stuff then, but like, is there anything that we wanted to focus on for July? Okay. Just one moment while our crack expert goes on Google.
Might I give a
Ronald.
suggestion for the month of
Yes.
July? If you are able to refine your survey by then, hopefully so, that you use the month of July to really focus on surveying the community. So given that it is sort of Independence Month, 4th of July, I know that there should be a number of activities, whether it's fireworks or not, that you use those as opportunities to get out in whatever capacity, whether it's all of you or just individually or in group twos or whatnot, to pretty much survey the community and get feedback from the residents.
Okay.
So perhaps for the month of July, we can focus on inclusion, the act of inclusion, and gathering the voices, including the voices and the input of our community to inform us.
I think that's a good idea. Also, because this Google search I just did tells me that July is National Hemp Month, so I think we should hemp month. So I think we should stay away from that. You're absolutely right. Surveying the community is what we're gonna do. you think it'd be April, but hey, here we are. So yeah, I think that's a good point, and we could. Do
And
that.
then also, my understanding is that the community center will probably be rolling out some activities during the summer for the youth because school is out. I know they just started up a tutoring program, so I don't know if you also may want to do something that's youth student centric.
Absolutely.
With July being sort of the month that a lot of them may not have anything to do, and then them going back to school in August. But again, my primary recommendation would be to focus on inclusion and surveying the community.
I think that that's like a really good idea. I know that before we have had like we personally have had offline conversations talking about like doing mentorship during like for various like people, like for group homes, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that the month of like July and August, but like the month of July would be like a good opportunity, like if there are like events where like there are going to be like young people or school aged people, just like talking to them, I guess, about like the importance of education or the importance of civic involvement or like whatever. So yeah, I think that that's absolutely something that could be like a focus for us like during that time. One would be like making sure that the equity survey is done. I think we could set like a hard deadline for that to like really be refined. probably by the time we meet in the council chambers next, which will be, I guess, like June 15th or something like that, so that we have the survey ready beforehand for the Juneteenth events, et cetera, et cetera. So we can focus in July on like surveying, and then on young people and youth involvement and whatnot, and then like segueing that to August where it's back to school.
And then just to remind you guys, I believe it was the February or March meeting, a resident did come and give a presentation or address the
Yes.
committee about doing sort of a back-to-school event.
Absolutely.
So I can reach out to her just to sort of gauge what her ideas are and relay those back to you to see if there might be an opportunity for partnership to do something either in July or end of August that focuses on students in like back-to-school.
Absolutely.
And I want to piggyback off of what Vice Chair Pope mentioned earlier. You mentioned mentorship just
Yeah.
a few minutes ago, and earlier you mentioned something that I definitely look forward to is the training on how to like run meetings and so forth of this kind. And that this is, when you said it, I thought this is a great opportunity for students and young people who, if we're trying to start getting people to be more engaged and including their voices in civic and community activities and government, then this is an opportunity for us to mentor some of them and add them maybe to the training that we'll get.
Could we possibly do something like with Summer of Impact, or not Summer of Impact, but Impact, like the Impact volunteers during that month?
What's the answer always? Yes, possible. Anything is possible. We would just need to figure out what that would look like, yeah.
So I guess I would ask that we table this discussion to the month of June, when we would have a more solid understanding of things that are going to be going on in June and July.
I have a question for staff. Yeah. I have a question for staff. Nigel, you might know this, but if you don't have the answer, it's fine. If we were to provide some kind of, like they're saying, training or some type of getting young people involved in civic life, July is summer school month for the school district, right? And so what if there was a way for us to help get any students that might need civics credits or any kind of credit, half a credit, or anything towards making up civic credits in the month of July with us or with the city?
So for curriculum, it has to be voted on by the school board. Professor Deloach will probably be able to give you more information on that than I can, but a curriculum has to be approved.
How do we get that?
You don't, not in a month. That's not possible. No, again, as Nigel said, curriculum has to be voted on by the school board, or in my organization, it has to be a part of the catalog for it to be A through G and WASC accredited. So passing out a credit is, and you're asking about a core class as well. So if it was an elective, maybe we could give someone hours, but again, to give a kid civics credits, that's not a thing.
We'll talk about electives. We'll talk about Thank you.
For the future.
So I know that we don't have to make a motion for this, but we can just table the discussion on July activities for June.
Thank you.
So we will add this back to the agenda.
Yes, we will. We almost there, y'all. Public business from the floor. Assistant City Clerk, your announcement, please.
At this time, this is a time to address the Lancaster Social Equity Commission on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each unless a different time limit is announced. State law prohibits the commission from taking action on items not listed on the agenda. Thank you. There are no additional speaker cards at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Carter, any comments?
No comments at this time.
Commissioner Deloach, any comments?
No, I appreciate the collaboration and look forward to follow-up emails.
Thank you. Vice Chair Christian Pope, any comments?
Let's see. So it is Kristen. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, so like I know that there's an O there, but we're just going to pretend that's an E. So yeah, Kristen. Let's see. I don't really have any comments. Like all of this sounds amazing. Like this warms my heart so much. Like to get off my soapbox for just a second, I will say that this is what happens when we have diverse representation. Like you have like so much that gets done. So even if like only half of the stuff that we talked about today, all of it's going to get done. But even if it's like only half of it, like we are taking so many steps in the like a positive direction that like my middle school self could have only dreamed of. So I just want to thank y'all so much for making that happen. I truly do appreciate it so much, and I know that the members of the public do as well.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, staff. Thank you for our speakers today. Thank you, commissioners, for being here and doing this work. And thank you to our commissioners that could not make it here. They're also doing the necessary work on behalf of this commission. And the next regular meeting of the City of Lancaster Social Equity Commission will be Wednesday, June 15th, 2022 at 5 p.m. This meeting is adjourned.
Tomorrow at Sergeant Steve Owens Park at 5 o'clock. Building pending, but
It
our
says Stephen Kleiner Community
Okay.
Activity Room. I believe that's what it's called, but Stephen Kleiner Room.
Okay, so for anyone that is looking to get involved in our Juneteenth planning, we will be having our Juneteenth planning meeting, special meeting tomorrow over at Sergeant Steve Owens Park over in the Kleiner Building, starting at 5 p.m. and going until everything on the agenda is discussed. So we hope to see everyone there.
Are we still live? Happy birthday to Nigel, everybody. Nigel's birthday was on Saturday.